Have you ever looked at your dog and felt like something was wrong but couldn't quite explain why? No barking, no whining, just a quiet heaviness in their eyes or a change in the way they move. Dogs are experts at hiding pain and discomfort, and sometimes the only signs they give us are so subtle they're easy to miss. That's why today we're looking at the hidden signs your dog might be silently begging for help. From changes in behavior to small physical clues, these are the signals every dog parent needs to notice before it's too late. Let's get straight into it so you know exactly what to watch for. Sign number 1. Sudden changes in behavior. You know your dog better than anyone, which is why sudden shifts in their personality should never be ignored. Maybe your usually playful pup is suddenly quiet and withdrawn, or your calm companion has become jumpy and restless. Dogs rarely act out of character without a reason, and these changes are often their first way of saying something isn't right. It could be physical pain, discomfort, or even emotional distress. For example, a dog that was always excited for walks but now lingers by the door might be sore or anxious. One who suddenly startles at everyday noises may be feeling vulnerable. Dogs are creatures of habit, so when their behavior changes overnight, it's worth paying attention. These quiet shifts can be the earliest clue that your dog needs your help. Sign number 2. They refuse their favorite food. If your dog suddenly turns away from their favorite meal or treat, it's not just them being fussy. A healthy dog's appetite is steady, and a sudden loss of interest in food is often the body's way of sounding an alarm. Whether it's dental pain making chewing uncomfortable, digestive issues, or something more serious like illness or stress, refusing food is never a behavior to brush off. Even missing just 1 or 2 meals can be a warning sign, especially if your dog normally eats enthusiastically. Watch their energy levels too. A dog that refuses food and seems lethargic may need urgent veterinary care. Food is joy for most dogs, and when they're not eating, it's their clearest silent plea for help. Sign number 3. They begin to lick or chew themselves raw. Every dog licks and scratches now and then, but when it turns into a constant habit, especially focused on one spot, it's a red flag. Maybe you've noticed your dog lying quietly in the corner, obsessively licking their paw until the fur thins, or chewing at their leg like they're trying to fix something only they can feel. It's heartbreaking to watch and never just a quirk. This kind of self-soothing behavior often points to allergies, skin infections, pain under the surface, or even deep anxiety. Dogs can't tell you what's wrong, so they focus on the one thing they can control, which is licking. And the more they do it, the worse it gets, turning a sore spot into a painful wound. If your dog has bald patches, irritated skin, or constantly chews itself, your dog is not being naughty. It is only trying to tell you it is uncomfortable, stressed, or hurting. Sign number 4. Your dog sleeps all day and still seem tired. Dogs love their naps, but there's a difference between a snoozy pup and a dog that seems to have lost all energy. If your once playful dog spends most of the day curled up and barely lifting their head when you come in, it's a sign that something's off. Healthy dogs may nap often, but they wake up alert and ready for action. Their body might be battling illness, pain, or emotional stress when that spark is gone. Picture this. You grab their lead for a walk, and instead of rushing to the door like usual, they just glance up and settle back down. It's not laziness, it's exhaustion. Dogs instinctively conserve energy when something is wrong, a survival strategy passed down from their wild ancestors. If your pup is sleeping more than usual and still seems tired, that quiet behavior is their way of asking for help. Sign number 5. They hide away from you. If your dog has suddenly started slipping under the bed, curling up behind the sofa, or disappearing into dark corners, it's not because they've stopped loving you. Dogs are pack animals by nature, and seeking solitude is rarely normal. When a dog hides, it's often because they feel vulnerable, scared, or unwell. An instinct tells them to find a safe, quiet spot where no one can bother it. Maybe you've noticed them refusing to lie in the center of the room like they used to, or they retreat as soon as guests arrive. This isn't alone time, it's a silent signal. In the wild, injured or sick animals isolate themselves to avoid predators, and our pets carry that same instinct. Sign number 6. They struggle to breathe comfortably. Heavy panting after a game of fetch or a hot day is normal, but if your dog is wheezing, gasping, or panting for no apparent reason, it's a sign their body is under stress. Maybe you've seen them sitting very still, chest heaving, or heard soft whines as they try to catch their breath. These aren't quirks, they're warnings. Breathing difficulties can point to serious conditions like asthma, heart disease, or infections, and they can escalate quickly. Dogs are experts at hiding discomfort, so if you notice their breathing sounds different, shallow, labored, or unusually fast, they may be working harder than they should just to get oxygen. Trust that instinct that says something feels off. In a dog's quiet world, struggling to breathe is one of the clearest ways they're begging for help. Sign number 7. Your dog trembles or shakes constantly. A shiver after a bath or a shake when they're cold is nothing to worry about, but trembling for no obvious reason is your dog's way of saying something's wrong. Maybe you've seen them lying in their favorite spot, body quivering like a leaf, or you've picked them up only to feel their whole frame shaking against your hands. It can be heartbreaking, and it's never just nerves. Constant trembling can signal pain, injury, fear, or even illness. Dogs shake when they're scared, but also when their body is fighting something they can't explain. In their world, staying quiet keeps them safe, so instead of crying out, they tremble. Sign number 8. Your dog whines softly or makes odd sounds. Some dogs are naturally vocal, but a sudden change in how your dog uses their voice is something to take seriously. Maybe your usually quiet pup has started letting out soft whimpers at night, or a gentle cry when you leave the room. It's easy to dismiss these sounds as attention-seeking, but often they're your dog's last way of communicating discomfort or anxiety. Dogs do not really complain unless they need to. Unusual whining, yelping when touched, or even low groans when they move can be early signs of pain or emotional stress. They're not being dramatic. They're telling you, in the only language they know, that something feels wrong. Listening closely to those subtle sounds can sometimes save you from missing a bigger problem. Sign number 9. They struggle to walk or move freely. If your dog suddenly limps, hesitates to jump on the sofa, or struggles to climb the stairs they once flew up, it's not always laziness, it's a sign they're hurting. Dogs are incredible at hiding pain because, in the wild, weakness could make them a target. So when they finally show you that something is wrong with how they move, it's serious. Maybe you've seen them pause before standing, shifting their weight awkwardly, or stiffly stretching their legs. Joint problems, injuries, or even internal pain can all show up first in how they walk. That limp or hesitation isn't clumsiness, it's a quiet plea for you to pay attention. Sign number 10. Your dog keeps their ears pinned or eyes half closed. Your dog's face says more than you think. When their ears are pinned flat against their heads or their eyes seem dull, squinty, or half closed, it's often a quiet sign of pain or fear. Dogs use their ears and eyes to communicate comfort and confidence, so when those signals change, it's their way of saying something feels wrong. You might notice them avoiding eye contact, blinking slowly, or holding their ears tightly, even when nothing scary happens. These are not random expressions, they're protective behaviors, often showing discomfort, illness, or anxiety. In a dog's world, subtle body language is survival, so they won't always cry out or yelp. Instead, they'll quietly tell you with their posture and expression, hoping you'll listen to what their face is saying. Dogs rarely cry for help loudly. Most of the time, it's in the minor changes, a glance, a pause, a sigh you almost missed. Paying attention to those details could be the difference between a happy pup and one silently struggling. If you'd like to understand your dog's behavior even better, our next video explores why some dogs prefer eating straight from your hand, what it reveals about their trust in you. Subscribe so you never miss a chance to get closer to your best friend.